the culture ended up really creating people who were on autopilot and clocked in and clocked out, and were not ultimately really as committed to the patient experience that we wanted, and our profitability really suffered.
Welcome to Success Confidentials.
9 minutes every week that'll level up your practice. If you're a healthcare visionary obsessed with patient experience, team culture, marketing, and growth, you're in the right place.
We are too. We're Lauren
and Christine,
the patient whisperers. We worked together for 4 years as leaders in a real premium practice.
We did not play in the traditional healthcare sandbox and believe human emotions drive all success, and it really, really worked. We grew our cash pay practice an average 60% year over year.
And on social media, we grew our followers from 1,000 to 14,000 in just 2 years, generating millions in annual revenue from social media alone.
So now we're out here sharing what made us wildly successful so you can be too.
Let's have some fun.
Let's dive in. I'm so excited about our topic today. This is something that I've really been wanting to talk about for a while. And we're talking about success in our healthcare practice. Do we focus on our patients, our people, or profit?
We believe that all three of these can and should work together, and that you really can't have one without being incredibly obsessed and passionate about the others.
We know that when our focus and passion is disproportionate in one area or another, success suffers, and we can never really achieve the success that we want.
This conversation will help you stop and think about your own perspective and where you're investing your current resources.
So I think back to when I joined healthcare, and I came from the world of business. So being focused on profit was very normal in the business world. What was interesting to me was that coming into healthcare, even though in private healthcare we are businesses that have to function based on profit, it was almost like that was bad, or kind of something that you didn't want to admit or focus on, that, oh, we should be completely focused on our patients and serving our patients, which, yes, we should. But we also have to be a profitable business to be able to serve our patients and to be able to invest in our team. So as I really became invested in the practice and in growing the practice, I kind of simultaneously fell in love with the patient and the patient's journey. And I was a patient. In this practice, I had LASIK. So I was really able to marry this love and obsession for the patient and serving the patient above all else with my passion for building a profitable business and growing it. And then third, as I grew my team, I became so passionate about the people in my practice who were serving the patients, and that I couldn't invest in them or provide for them or keep my superstars if we were not a profitable business. So really all three of those things were at the core of what I was constantly focused on and constantly obsessed with, and none of them worked against each other.
They can all work simultaneously together.
And they had to for us to be successful, and it worked. We grew 97% the first 7 months I was there, and year after year. And then together we combined these talents, and we continued to be obsessed with these things, and we grew 60% on average the 4 years we worked together. So I will argue all day that success and being focused on success and driven by success in our practice is not a bad thing when you are just as obsessed with your patients and your people.
What are some examples of people, patients, and profits not working simultaneously together in a premium practice?
Gosh, I can think of so many examples. I was with my practice for 10 years, and we had a variety of leadership roles kind of come and go. I can think of one administrator who was an absolutely lovely person. They were really committed to our people without really marrying that with being committed to our profit and our patients. So what ultimately happened was we ended up with kind of an enabling culture versus a really productive culture that could do all three, where we invested in our people, but also to the extent that they knew their roles in our profitability and they knew their roles in our patient experience. Those things have to really all go together.
What about someone being focused on profit and patients, but really missing the people aspect of it?
Yes. I think that's probably one of the most common situations in healthcare. And we definitely went through a period like that in my practice way back in the day, where we had big goals and patients were always at the center. But our leadership really failed to prioritize and invest in our people. So what ended up happening was we had people who did not feel appreciated, did not feel invested in. They felt like they were just part of a process. And they ended up, the culture ended up really creating people who were on autopilot and clocked in and clocked out, and were not ultimately really as committed to the patient experience that we wanted, and our profitability really suffered.
To recap on today's conversation, we have to have a culture that is invested and passionate about all three: our people, our patients, and our profitability as a business.
This is the recipe for success, and it's really important to have the right team, leadership team in our practice that is able to really play on their strengths, because we are all different as individuals. We all have different strengths and may naturally prioritize one a little bit differently than the other. Have the right team in place where we can all work together to make sure this is the reality in our practice. If we can help you with anything related to today's topic, use the link to schedule a free 30-minute synergy session just for new practices.
For our existing practice clients, you already know where to find us.
Now we want to hear from you. What resonated? What other topics are hot for you right now? We want to know all about it in the comments.
We're just a comment away, so if you have any questions, we personally respond to all comments and DMs. If you're not subscribed yet, make it easy on yourself to see new episodes and reference topics that are helpful by hitting the subscribe button.